Buongiorno from Roma. In fact,
we are not in Rome.
but actually, no, we're not in Rome.
We're in another country.
If you hear those bells, and you might be able to see behind us, is St. Peter's Basilica, the dome of which I think basilica means dome anyway, it was designed by Michelangelo. Those bells will stop in a minute. There, they have.
So we're in Vatican.
So we're in the Vatican, so we're not strictly in Rome anymore, but it's one of the easiest border crossings I've ever had, I must admit.
Yeah, straight through.
It's a bit like going in and out of East and West Berlin. I mean, but this is a different country, because technically the Vatican City is a different country on its own. So what have we been doing? Well, okay, over to Julie. What have we been doing today?
Well, today's all been about coming to the Vatican, seeing, wow, Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, and the Vatican museums, which go on for
Ever
and ever. But I was amazed, because you walk through and it's just so much art everywhere before you get to the main event. And then they lead you through all these galleries, which actually is a very good idea, because I imagine most people would just make a beeline to the Sistine Chapel and not look at any of the other bits of art. You do get a bit cherubed out after a while, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
But to be honest, I mean, some of the ceilings and things like that, and some of the artwork, you just take a bit of time, slow down, and absorb it all, because it's not all sort of strictly religious, is it? There was
there are a lot of marble statues. I don't know if you know about the Pope who took umbrage about the
basically, yes,
exposed. Am I allowed to say this word?
You say what you like.
Okay, willies.
Ooh, willies. Ooh.
So he either cut them off,
yeah,
or put a fig leaf on them.
Yeah, he chiseled them off. So there's a room full of marble willies somewhere around here. Thankfully, that wasn't on the tour. But
that would have been great.
So, but when you get to the Sistine Chapel, I mean, Julie has been before. There's a lot of people there. Very ironic, actually, because you're not allowed to take photographs, and they want you to be silent. So they send out announcements over the tannoy system telling you to be silent. Which anyway.
It ruins the ambience.
It does a little. But I mean, the frescoes and that on Michelangelo took him 4 years to paint them, and apparently he was paid the equivalent of about €1.5 million to paint the Sistine Chapel ceiling and the frescoes around the walls as well. It took him about 4 years to do it. And I was amazed, because they literally sort of jump out at you, don't they?
They do. It's beautifully done.
Yeah.
Even second time of seeing it, it does take your breath away. And we had to hold each other up, because you want to look up all the time, and then you're nearly
falling over. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people, as you can imagine, but it is one of those sites that you have to see. And if you do come, be aware. You come into this part at St. Peter's Square, it's not actually, the Vatican Museum is around the corner. So if you ever come here, it's around the corner, and you get a time slot and everything like that. And we were lucky, we got here earlier, about 9:15, something like that, and this square was empty. It's not actually as busy as I thought it would be now. Maybe it's just the time of year, because it was the end of November, beginning of December. So, but pretty amazing. And round here, actually, if we come round here, there is another obelisk.
There is.
There seem to be obelisks all over the place.
I don't think there are any left in Egypt.
I mean, we think they must have bought a job lot from Egypt. But this particular one, because we thought, oh, it's just another obelisk, and it hasn't actually got any hieroglyphics on it.
Yeah, we walked straight past it, but there's just another one.
Just looking at the guidebook while we were having a coffee in the Vatican area, unfortunately, the Pope Francis wasn't around to sort of come and join us. No. And we did offer. Yeah. That particular obelisk was bought here by Caligula from Heliopolis in Egypt, and Nero used to use it as the turning point for his chariot races.
Another wow.
Which sort of brings it all home to you about the history that is around in this city, because everywhere you turn, whether it be in Vatican City or Rome itself, there is just history everywhere. There are churches and we mentioned some of the basilicas and everything, but just bits of marble and columns and that dotted around. I know people said to me before I came here that you'd love this place, Andy, for exactly that reason. And it certainly is, it's certainly living up to expectations. And I will just mention something about the Trevi Fountain, because we went there yesterday, as you may have seen from the first video. And if you didn't see that video, where have you been?
Yeah,
go and have a look.
Doing?
It's still there. But we did put a coin in the fountain, and that contributed to the around about €3,000 worth of coins that they dredge out of that fountain every single day. All the money goes to a Catholic charity, which is pretty good. So that's mind-blowing. €3,000 a day. That's obviously on average. I mean, it's relatively quiet here at this particular time. But you wanted to say something about the traffic and everything, didn't you?
I did. Crazy. You know the Italian job when you hear all the police
Sirens.
cars whizzing around,
Yeah.
and cars going crazy.
Should we turn around that?
We were at a roundabout by what you call the wedding cake, but it's a war memorial.
Yeah, it's a Victor Emmanuel war memorial,
Yeah.
Victoriano I think it's called, and it's this huge slab of marble that was built as and it is like a tomb to the unknown soldier is there as well.
Yeah.
But there's this amazing roundabout
Crazy.
And just watching the cars negotiating each other, cutting across each other. No, we didn't see any incidents, or actually there weren't any horns going particularly.
Just crazy.
It's like being in Delhi or Cairo or something like that.
Triomphe in Paris.
Yeah, something like that.
Crazy.
So, and crossing the road there.
Yes, well, we're very obsessed with crossing the road, as you know. After Berlin, we had Ample Man to help us.
But you haven't got Ample Man
No,
here.
and what's interesting here, the little green man looks slightly hesitant.
I'm not
It's almost-
surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're crossing that-
Nobody stops.
Crossing that was it, Piazza Venezia, isn't it? Is the actual area, and it's a huge wide road, and it's a pedestrian crossing.
Life in your hands.
I mean, there's no green man to help you. You literally have to start walking across and trust that all these people are going to stop.
We just follow the locals,
We
and
follow
they'll get
the-
one over first.
Yes, and it was getting dark as well, so he was a bit worried. We were wearing a dark jacket, whether we were going to be able to be seen. But yeah, so that's something else. So. Yeah, I mean, this is great, isn't it? And it's lovely. The sunshine.
Beautiful.
We've been
Sun's
sitting
out.
outside. I don't know what I just took my top off, not my shirt off.
No,
I
you
don't want
can't
to
do that.
embarrass the
Respect where we
locals.
are.
I don't want to get
Yeah, you
deported
get
again.
chucked out again.
No, thank you. There's someone just trying to sell us something here.
Yeah, he wants to get in the
No,
video.
he's trying to sell me a selfie stick, and anyone who knows me knows that I'm very averse to selfie sticks.
So we're
I
ignoring
think-
him.
I mean, yes, I know. I'm quite aware of how they work. Thank you. Okay. Yes, okay. So should we finish this video before I hit this man and get deported? So
Yes.
so we'll leave it there,
Goodbye.
and we're off to the Castel d'Angelo.
We're going to get Castel d'Angelo and then have a wander this
Yeah,
afternoon.
and I'm not going to buy a selfie stick, but I might be ramming it somewhere very shortly. Anyway, arrivederci.
Arrivederci.